Hello guys. So yeah, he's dragged me back onto Facebook Live again tonight, and I have a couple of messages or questions from people. So I'll deal with those first, and then I thought that Cass has asked me to answer some questions about kind of tips and hints about getting back to the good side after falling off track. So first of all, hi to the three guys that have sent some questions in beforehand. So Cass, hello my lovely Chris, hiya, and Sarah. So I'll try and answer those questions first, and then if anyone has any other questions we can go from there. So I don't quite know why I'm watching hippos on the screen on telly. MasterChef's on in the background. So Kaz, you wanted some tips and hints, so I've got loads of those. First of all, I just wanted to come to Chris. So you said that you'd lost like almost 11 stone and you've been struggling, and now only have lost 7 stone 9 pounds. First of all, give yourself a bloody break. Having retained a 7 stone 9 pound loss is absolutely amazing, and one of the things that I think would really be helpful is for you to try and go out there and find something that weighs that same amount, and pick it up, and just really kind of recognize that achievement that you've got there. That's fantastic. So yeah, so I'll cover off some bits and pieces in tonight's conversation, and then see where we go from there. And Sarah, hello my lovely, you wanted to know how I found the motivation and willpower to get started. Quite honestly, it was the fact that I was dying. I was killing myself with the food, really. I think it's quite easy to lull yourself into a false sense of security and to kind of keep going, and just you get into your own little bubble every now and again, and you just keep plodding on, and life gets in the way and you stop thinking about the action that you can take. And for me, there was a combination of things. So there was no one thing that pushed me into making those changes initially. It was the fact that I was really abusing myself with food, and I wanted to make the changes. I kind of fast forwarded a few years and looked at where I might be at that point in time. There was also the situation that I've just hit 35, so going back to when I first started this in my early 30s. Basically, I wasted my 20s. I should be out there having fun, doing some really fun stuff, and wasted my 20s. So the motivation for me to start was really kind of wanting to claw back some life. I'm just a little bit afraid actually about that, though. I have a feeling it might be like Girls Gone Fucking Wild or something. I'm already enjoying the taste of cocktails a little bit too much, so God knows what it's going to be like when I get to Target. So yes, hello Mandy, lovely to see you on here. So I guess I wanted to cover off some tips and hints. So I've been asked after the last time I went live. I've had so many messages, which is absolutely fantastic, and I guess I just want to make sure that I try and cover off as much as possible so it's helpful and you're not just listening to me ramble on. The first thing really is like kind of stop being so hard on yourself. I've had loads of messages from people saying, oh, I've only lost this, or I had lost this and now I've only lost that. Do you know what? Shit happens, and life is really fucking hard at times. And I think we've got to get to the point that we're a little bit nicer to ourselves, really, and actually that we do this when we can, and we try again, but don't beat yourself up too much. Oh, sorry, Chris, the MasterChef's making you hungry in the background. Yeah, do you know what? I never really watch it. Who is that dude? Is that Donny Osmond or someone? He looks like an Osmond. Anyway, hi, Nikki. Lovely to see you on here. One of the other things as well is kind of about making sure that you're still enjoying opportunities to go out and have fun, and that you're enjoying treats. But remember, you aren't a dog. Food rewards aren't really suitable for fat people who love food, because you can get into that cycle. I mean, I've gone and got weighed in and lost weight, and then gone to the drive-through because I'm rewarding myself for having lost the weight, and that's just seriously fucked up, really, isn't it? Celebrating losing weight with a burger. It's laughable, but I've done it on so many occasions. Oh God, yeah, so many times I've done that. One of the other things as well, I think, is that there's this big thing that you have to be good all of the time, or we beat ourselves up if we go off track slightly. And I think it's that kind of don't let one meal throw you off track. I guess if I told you that you could stay on track 95% of the time, you'd snap my hand off. So you really would be like, right, if I can stay on track 95% of the time, that's absolutely fantastic. So if you break it down and you look at how many opportunities, yeah, absolutely, like going to the gym and then having a kebab, Katie, or going to those gyms where they've got like juice bars downstairs and muffin bars and stuff like that and rewarding yourself with that shit. I don't get that. So back to opportunities. If you look at how many times you're going to eat across the course of a week, so for me, I have 3 meals a day, so that's 21 opportunities in a week I've got to eat well. Expand that out to a year, that's 1,092 opportunities you've got to eat well. So if you eat out once a week, that basically equates to 4.76% of your time across a year. So that means that you're on track 95% of the time. So you can go out and eat out once a week without it having too much of an impact and too much of a throwing you off track too much, basically. So don't beat yourself up. Life's for living. I went out last night, went and seen Jimmy Carr, and oh my God, he was absolutely amazing. So rude. I only remember the really awful jokes, and I don't know who I've got watching, so I won't say any of them unless you encourage me to do it. So if you do want me to say one of the rudest, crudest, most horrendous, horrific jokes that he told, then shout up and I'll do that. So look at your opportunities that you've got. 21 in a week, 1,092 in a year. You can go out once a week and you're still going to be on track 95% of the time. It's not about fucking up your whole day. So get up, have a really great healthy breakfast, have a really great healthy lunch, but go out at night, have a few martini cocktails, have a couple of beers, have a curry, whatever it is, and then wake up the following morning and get back on track. Rudest joke, please. Here you go. Could I ask Mr. WRB to remove his feet, please? They're blocking my view of the TV. Yes, get off the sofa, Rob, with your shoes. I've told him that so many times. Say the crudest joke, please. Okay, I will. I'll say one. Do it, rude jokes. It's not rude, it's just highly offensive. He was just absolutely appalling. Actually, Mr. WRB's looking at me as if to say, Jesus Christ, what is she going to come out with? I do genuinely only remember the really rude ones. So, opportunities. Excuse me. I think one of the things as well is that if you're anything like me, you can be full of excuses, and you get really, really, really good at convincing yourself that your excuses are valid reasons for not doing something. So, I'm too tired today, or I haven't got the money to do something, or I haven't got this, or I can't do that, or I'm too fat to do it, or I'm this, I'm that. Bollocks to all of that. You can wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. You're still going to be knackered either way, so wake up a little bit earlier in the morning. When it comes to the finances, there are always things that you can do. Go out for a walk, that's free. You can look at alternative ways of eating, and I can talk more about that in kind of future broadcasts or podcasts and stuff. And when it comes to excuses, we're masters at it. We'll do anything we can to prevent ourselves from making progress, because actually it's not about making progress, it's about change, and change is scary, and putting yourself in a situation where you're going to make those changes can be quite scary. So I think recognising your excuses is really important. It's like I've written about this before. January, we all kind of go, right, we're going to make some changes in January. But then you've got the fact that the gyms are really busy, or your house is still full of all of the shit food from Christmas. So you kind of think, oh, well, you know what, January, I'll let that go into February. And then in February, you've got Valentine's Day, and you might get chocolates, and you might go out for meals, and da-da-da-da-da. That throws you off track. And then March, all the Easter eggs go into the store, of course, in January. So in March, you're full on Easter zone, hot cross buns, buttered hot cross buns, Easter eggs. April, more of the same. May, start the summer barbecue season. And by the time you're back round to Christmas, and you're bloody heavier than you were in January when you made yourself a promise that you were going to do something. So yeah, that can be a way of, putting off the inevitable, putting off the changes you want to make. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Right, okay, I cannot believe Mr. WRB listened to you about his feet. Oh, he's really well trained, Jane. Seriously, he's really well trained. Aren't you? He's ignoring me now. Yeah, Liz, change is one of the scariest things about losing weight, and you get to a certain point and you start to sabotage. Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes it's there are some things for people. So I've done some pretty intense coaching with people before, and some of the things are like people use their weight as a shield, and sometimes it helps for you not to be noticed, and putting yourself out there and having people take more notice of you. So I've been in situations in a work capacity where people ignore you. People ignore you, and they don't they don't expect your contribution. But as soon as you start to kind of come out of your shell a little bit more, then there's a bit of pressure on. Hi Katie, lovely to see you there. And Sinead, yeah, absolutely. A bunch of flowers. If one was dead, you wouldn't throw out the whole bunch. So one bad meal and you shouldn't write the whole week off. Absolutely. It's like going out and finding one of your tyres on your car's flat and slashing the rest of them because you're in a fucking mood about one of them being flat. You just don't do that sort of stuff, do you? Hello Jay, how are you, my lovely? Yeah, we really need to get a drink organised soon. I'm trying to get it sorted out, so you're more than welcome to come along to that. Oh God, I'm getting frowned at now. I think he's worrying that this diet and malarkey is turning me into a raging cocktail drinker. Right, okay. One of the things that I find quite helpful as well, and I know that everybody always talks about having lots of variety, and variety is the spice of life. Personally, I think that's quite hard. And I feel like a kid in a sweet shop sometimes. When I went out for a meal last night, I was looking at the menu and I was like, Jesus Christ, how do I pick from all of this lovely food? So for me, I think narrowing down some of the options can be quite helpful. So I have like the same breakfasts most mornings, I have the same lunches, very similar lunches. It's only in the evenings that I make a few changes. And actually that helps. That helps wipe out some of the excuses about food prep and planning and all of that sort of stuff, because you can just... You can just have the same stuff and your body's getting all the nutrients it needs, and you know what you're doing, you know what your shopping's going to cost, you know what you've got to get when you go to the shop. So sometimes narrowing down those options can be quite helpful as well. Hi Nonny, yeah, I get that. Hi Angela, hello. Oh, late to the party, don't worry, that's the story of my life as well. Hello Hayley, lovely to see you on here as well, my darling. Let's have a look. I've got a couple of books here as well. Let's have a quick look. One of them that I recommend quite a lot, The Compassionate Mind Approach to Beating Overeating by a guy called Ken Goss. Now Ken, I don't know if he still does, but he used to run the eating disorders service. Yeah, head of eating disorders service in Coventry. And he's one of the country's leading experts. This is really quite helpful for people. So that is one of the books that I recommend. And the reason I put those there to talk to you about is that one of the things that I found quite helpful was the food and mood diaries. And I know it's a bit of a ball ache, recording all of your food, but I'm proper into MyFitnessPal now, and I find that the tracking really helps me. But all of these books, so this book here, Compassionate Mind Approach, this one that I've used loads, it's got stains all over the front of it. I've used it that much. It'd be a bit ironic if that was a food stain, wouldn't it? I don't think it is. Overcoming Binge Eating by Christopher Fairburn. And I used to get a bit fed up with all of these people kind of telling me to record my food. And I just used to think, oh my God, absolute nightmare. But when you look at the books that come out of the Eating Disorders Association, they all encourage that as well. And it's all about raising your awareness. It helps you look at why you go off track, understanding what happened and how you can learn from that. So not only linking it to food, but also linking it to mood. So a bit of journaling, kind of putting stuff out there, seeing how you deal with things. Yeah, that's very interesting. Right, I'm going to have a look at some of these comments because they're coming through thick and fast. Let's have a quick look. My sound keeps going by the sounds of it. Sorry about that. I'll try and talk a little bit louder. It's probably me, I'm chomping on my chewing gum at the same time. No, Cara, I genuinely don't get bored of the same meals. I actually quite like that. And I eat a lot of the same types of veggies and stuff, but I'll throw in different herbs and spices and that kind of thing. And one of the things, and this is going to sound really flippant of me, but one of the things that I'm trying to do is make sure that my life isn't boring so that food becomes secondary. So rather than having food as the be all and end all and the only thing that I look forward to in the day, it's trying to make sure that I've got other outlets for it. So actually when I'm eating my breakfast, I kind of see that as fuel now rather than something that I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. Same with my lunch. It tastes really nice, don't get me wrong, but it's trying to make sure that the other elements of my life are actually quite good fun, so that the food is just something that I use to fuel that. Sarah, hello. Oh, thank you. Hi, Romy, how are you? You're okay on plan for a few days or weeks, but after a while you feel like you lose momentum. Look for opportunities for day off. How can I keep the momentum up long enough to lose 2 stone when you're only losing a pound or so a week? I think it's about breaking stuff down and adding in extra bits and pieces. So for me, there'd be some work there around stuff like visualization, really writing down what it is that you're looking to achieve. So why are you doing this? Going back to your original reasons for doing it, looking at little goals. So going down into the next stone bracket, taking progress photos, taking your measurements, looking at some of the stuff that you can achieve as the weight loss is happening. So maybe setting yourself some exercise goals and stuff like that. That might help. But if you want some more info and a bigger chat about it, then drop me a message, a private message on Facebook, and we can do it that way. Hi Sarah, bloody hell. Found you early in my Slimming World journey and have now lost 10 stone. You are fucking awesome. Well done. That is absolutely amazing. Jay, I always bring my A game when I go drinking. You might regret asking me to bring my A game. My C game is probably good enough. Amanda, hello. Lovely to see you again. My sound keeps cutting off. Sorry, Mandy. It's probably just me. It's probably just me on my chewing gum. Right, so I think, yeah, I've just started talking about kind of the visualization stuff, progress pictures, use a favourite pair of jeans or something along those lines, although your favourite pair of jeans might be a lot smaller than you are now. I've actually got upstairs in my wardrobe a jacket that I really want to get into for horse riding. It looks like a straight jacket when I try and put it on now. My arms stick out at right angles because it's so small. You know, like those kids who've got those mittens with string through them and they look all like little wrapped up. I can't move in this coat because it's so small on me. But I'm determined to get into that for my horse riding. So I kind of do stuff like that. Sorry, he's just walked through the room to go and have a bloody fag in the garden. He's absolutely appalling. Yeah, visualization. Back to that again. Some of the stuff, I think it's really important to find somebody or something that motivates you and inspires you as well. I used to love watching The Biggest Loser until I saw what absolute shite bags they were behind the scenes to people and how they've buggered up people's metabolisms and stuff. So yeah, I tend not to watch that now. Just like I don't watch diners, drive-ins and drive-throughs anymore, or diners, drive-ins and dives, or whatever it's called, or Man v Food. Because they just tempt me into wanting to book a holiday to drive across America so I can eat my way across the land of stars and stripes. But I am actually going to do that when I get to Target. That's one of my Target goals. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions, just throw them on the screen and I will try and answer those. I think it's really important when you start to look at the goals. So just going back to you, Cass, and your original question about some tips and hints, try not to focus on the weight loss so much. Do you know what, the number? We all chase the number, and I'm really awful at this. I'll throw proper tantrums if I don't get a good weight loss result in a week, especially when you've put the effort in. It's hard work to shift weight. But I think if you can set some short-term goals, so like health and fitness goals, or even just going and doing something a little bit different, going and trying swimming or taking the kids to the park, something that you don't normally do, try and do that. Okay, so how did I choose a target? I haven't got a target, Sarah. I originally had a target, and I spoke about this the other day, and that was to get into a healthy BMI zone. But to be honest, I just want to get to a stage where I feel really comfortable and I can do my stuff that I want to do. It makes me sound like Angelina fucking Jolie, and I'm absolutely not that. But I've tried rock climbing and I've done a bit of canoeing and all. Like, I quite like that type of activity type holiday, and I want to be able to go and do that without worrying about whether or not the harness will fit over my arse or whether they'll have a big enough life jacket for me to wear when I'm going canoeing and stuff. So yeah, my targets aren't really set in stone. It's just going to be a case of how I feel as I get closer to target, really. Leslie, how do I keep motivated? I just refresh stuff. So I always look at my goals. I look at remind myself about what it is that I'm trying to achieve. I kind of visualize some of the stuff that I want to do. And you have to practice quite hard. I think motivation and willpower only get you so far. You've got to get discipline. So it's about routines. It's about planning and preparation. It's about building healthy things into your life. So whether that's food choices or activities, and making sure you surround yourself with the right people as well. So I think I talked earlier about kind of finding inspirational people, but it's also about finding knowledgeable people. The internet's full of people like me who just talk shite, really. It's full of people who will give you their opinion on stuff, but actually, are they qualified? Do they really know what they're talking about? Have they been there and experienced it, or have they got some decent background and education and knowledge and case studies and reviews that you feel that you can trust them? And I'm rambling on there, but basically what I'm trying to say is if you need some help, make sure you get it from the right people. Go and find a decent personal trainer that you click with that's going to challenge you. Okay, let's have another look at these comments. Do I ever feel fatigued because I struggle and turn to food? Yeah, definitely. I think that the tiredness is something that comes, and it's quite hard because ultimately you try and get enough sleep in the night. But when I've got my dog at the moment is on her last legs, and she woke me up at 2 o'clock this morning. I came back late last night, so I feel absolutely shattered today. I think the food just doesn't help it though. So you get a temporary buzz from that kind of food. So if you eat sugary foods and stuff, you feel that temporary buzz, but then the crash after it is absolutely amazing. It's horrendous. You just feel bloody awful from it. So I try and kind of use the food and mood diary stuff. So I'll write down how I feel before I eat something and how I feel afterwards. And then I'll try and record that and just remind myself. And it's a bit of a learning process. So it's not really something that that clicks into place overnight, really, unfortunately. Yeah, getting support. So I've just seen a message about getting support. Yeah, support's really important, not only in the knicker and bra department. You need to make sure that you've got good people around you, and sometimes that also looks at kind of the friendship circles that you mix with, and that's not nice. I've ditched a couple of people who were absolute arseholes because actually they weren't really helpful or encouraging. So I've gone through a bit of a cleanse, if you like, of some of the people that I have in my life, because I realised that if I want to have the life that I want to have, then I need to have the right people in it to enable me to do that. So yeah, that's quite an important thing as well. Cheryl, so you'd lost a load of weight, been ill, and you've put a bit back on. Okay, so you might want to have a look at a couple of these books, Cheryl, I mentioned earlier. So this one, Overcoming Binge Eating by Christopher Fairbairn, and The Compassionate Mind Approach. I know you can't see that very well because the lighting in my house is shite. Compassionate Mind Approach to Beating Overeating by Ken Goss. And if you want to drop me a private message, then I'll see what help I can give. Yeah, I'll see what help I can give. Lynn, wish I could lose as quickly as I gain. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, tell me about it, Lynn. I would be a master. I always try and work out what my ultimate purpose is in life, and what my secret hidden talent is, and that kind of stuff. And I just reckon it's eating, unfortunately. Hi, Alex. Lovely to see you there. If you're still on, Gleb looks tasty on MasterChef. That wasn't Alex that said that. That was Daisy. Yeah. Hi, Daisy. Lovely to see you, my darling. I know we've chit chatted quite a lot as well. Gleb is a bit of a, yeah. Now you've distracted me because I've realised he's on telly and I need to focus. So stop it, naughty. Oh, here you go, Cara. Alex, Cara says you inspire her too. Sarah Ashworth. So yes, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Saturday. And he's walking in the room with his phone on. Can you turn that off, please? Oh, he's listening to me outside while he's had a cigarette. Yes, Alex Myers is awesome too, Sarah. Joan, how do I deal with those people that judge you by your size first? I just tell them to fuck off, Joan. Genuinely, I think it's really hard. People we all judge. And this goes back to those days where you're looking at you're having to suss people up when you're a little caveman and you're working out, is that saber-toothed tiger here to eat me, or is he here to have a meal with me and be friends with me? We judge. So you think about people in frontline forces, you look at somebody and you have to judge in an instant whether they're friend or foe. We all do it. So we all judge people. I've just been having a nice chat about Gleb on the telly, for example. He's a handsome guy. He could be a dickhead. You don't know, do you? We judge people. I think, excuse me, one of the things that I said earlier was about kind of toxic people in your life. And I tend to think, do you know what, if I've got to know that person or work with that person or have them in my life, then I'll make it work. I wouldn't necessarily choose to be friends with people that judge me based on my size. I don't really have many problems like that because I'm fairly confident and outgoing. And for those people that do judge me, I really couldn't give a shit, to be quite honest with you. I think it's the same for you, Joan. Do you know what I mean? Like, just if people want to judge you for that, then they'll judge you for anything. If I lose weight, they'll look at my moustache, or they'll say, oh God, she's got grey hair, or oh, she's a bit spotty. I am all of those things. I have a moustache, I have grey hair, and I have spots. There's always something that people like that can comment on. So for me, I try not to let that sort of stuff worry me. Sarah, do I go to a Slimming World group? I do go to a Slimming World group. I have the lady who runs my Slimming World group is a very good friend of mine. She sent me a lovely little note in the post today that says, you can't see that, it says, if you've made up your mind you can do something, you're absolutely right. And she was just congratulating me on my weight loss of the past few months. So I do go to a Slimming World group. If I'm being entirely honest, I go now more because that person is somebody that I get on really, really well with. I use the structure of the Slimming World plan to get me on track, and it helped me. But actually I'm finding that there are better ways of eating for me personally at the moment. So I try and eat within the structure of the Slimming World plan, but if I want something that's not on plan, I don't beat myself up about it really. Right, so what have we talked about earlier? I know Cass was really keen for me to do some tips and hints, so I'll try and do a couple more of those. I think, yeah, don't get hung up on the numbers was something. I get quite a lot of messages from people that get really pissed off when they haven't had the weight loss that they were expecting. Do you know what? There are so many factors that can affect that number on the scales. There's, you know, hormones, the volume of food you've had the night before you get on the scales, the amount of water that you've drunk, toilet habits, the clothes that you're wearing. In hot weather, some people suffer more with fluid retention. If you've worked out at the gym quite hard and you get on the scales, you know, your muscles can kind of retain a little bit of water from that. There's too many factors to get hung up on the numbers. And my old trainer was like a massive fan of weighing people only once a month, and I would always ignore him. For me, I like to get weighed weekly. If you can, then weighing once a month potentially is a better option if you're somebody that gets hung up on the numbers on the scales. Yeah, I tend to try. Sometimes actually I can't remember what it is I've lost. I have to come home before I put my little updates on Facebook and look in my book again, because I'm trying not to focus like that. Is it easy to combine Slimming World and your other plan? Yes, it is, Susie. Slimming World is a really, really flexible way of eating, and you can do anything if you take the time to have a look at it and to put it into practice. Like many people, I was a bit of a lazy cowbag when it came to that, and I would follow Slimming World and I would go, right, that's free, this is that, da 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 da. If you take the time to sit and have a look at it, so some of the healthy extras, for example, you can choose nuts, you can choose seeds, you can choose dried fruits. If you look at some of the sins that you can have avocado, you can have olive oil. If you look at some of the cheeses you can have, that's fantastic on the plan that I have. When you go and look at the free foods, there's things like salmon, there's chicken, there's sweet potato, there's all sorts of stuff. So there are always ways of making that plan work for you. And I personally find it quite easy. But again, like I say, if I want to have avocado and I've already had my sins for the day, I'll have it because I'm tracking my calories as well. Sarah, would I like to be a Slimming World consultant? Absolutely not. I don't have the patience to do that type of job. It wouldn't be for me. My Slimming World consultant laughs whenever I get asked that question because she knows that I'm a bit of an eye roller. And I probably wouldn't do a great job. I get that people like the style that I have and my bluntness, but it's probably not good for a room full of people on a regular basis. Let's have a look. One of the other things about food as well, so I've talked already about kind of the variety and being like a kid in the sweet shop if you've got too much variety. So sometimes you can cut down your options and have, you know, similar breakfast, similar lunches, and change up the evening meals. One of the other things as well is that I've started to try and look at food as fuel. And if I put good stuff in, then I'm going to get good performance. I'm going to feel good and mentally feel good and physically feel a lot better. So I try and put good stuff in with the occasional espresso martini and dirty burger thrown in there every now and again because life is for living. I think it's really important to stop looking for ways to cheat the system as well. So if you are going to follow Slimming World, for example, or you are going to pick Weight Watchers, whatever bloody eating plan you're going to pick, stop trying to cheat the system. So I see all of these tweaks online about people making cakes in fucking mugs and making cakes out of couscous or roasting. You know, just if you want to eat some cake, eat a little bit of nice cake. Don't look for ways of cheating the system, because for me, I don't want to eat the food that I used to eat because that's what got me fat in the first place. So to try and base my diet around tweaking all of the foods that I used to eat, it doesn't get my head into a different zone, which is where I think it needs to be. If you like it, you're losing weight with it, go for it. For me, it just doesn't work. Carissa, do I get hung up on the macros and breakdown of carbs, proteins, fats on MyFitnessPal? No, I just like the pretty graphs. I don't get hung up on it. No. So I'm just thinking it through as I'm talking. Actually, I like having a look at it every now and again. I rarely look at my macros. I just use it to track calories. And every now and again I'll log into my phone because I'm a bit of a technological numpty and I haven't worked out how to look at the graphs on my iPad version of it. So no, it's not something that I get hung up on, but I am a bit of a fan of graphs and things like that. So I do like to look at that every now and again. Let's have a quick look. I think above all else, do you know what? I don't want to ramble on for too much longer, really. Oh, Lynn, you can't agree with me more about making cheap cakes. I don't know. Do you know what? My friend runs one of the most amazing. My friend runs one of the most amazing coffee shops, and she has the best cake in the world. I go in there. That's like my idea of the Playboy mansion going in her shop. The cakes are absolutely fucking amazing, and I go in there and sometimes every now and again I haven't had one in months. But every now and again, I'll go in there and I'll treat myself to a little slice of her Persian carrot cake. It is amazing. Anybody who knows where I'm from will know this shop because it's just phenomenal. And I just think life is too, like, I'd rather have a little bit of something that tastes really, really good than a cake that's made with half a jar of fucking sweetener and stuff like that. I don't know, it tastes all chemically to me. So yeah, what are they making on MasterChef? I'm getting distracted. I really shouldn't have a food programme in the background. There's a little bit of irony in there somewhere, I guess, isn't there? Oh, hold on. I'm back again. A food programme and books about binge eating. I am like absolute split personality. Right, so let's have a look. I wrote a couple of things down earlier based on Cassie's questions. So water, drink loads of water. I was asked the other day how much I drink, kind of 3 or 4 litres a day. Hi Catherine, lovely to see you. Oh, you want me to? Okay, I'll change the channel, Carol, because I don't want you to. You're recording it, so let's see what else is on. What else can I watch? The golf. That's boring. Surely no one's watching that. Actually, I know some people that will. Big Brother. Jesus Christ, that's the worst programme in the world. I used to love stuff like that. And the Mike Motorbike Show. I just finished watching the Tour de France highlights. You wouldn't believe the shit that went on there today. Bloody hell. Right, okay, there you go, Carol. I know you were joking, but I've turned it over anyway for you. Water, yeah, try and get loads of water. Try and get some good sleep. And don't give up. Just don't give up on what it is that you're trying to achieve. And above all else, I guess I just kind of wanted to say that you have to remember how fucking awesome you are. Do you know what I mean? Like, our bodies are fantastic. They've got us to this point in life. They keep us going. They've carried us around. They've kept us on the planet. Do you know what I mean? It's like, treat yourself with a little bit of respect because you're pretty awesome. And that's about it, really. It's not easy, but you've got to realise how fabulous you are. And I'm trying to look through the comments to see, because I think I've missed some here. So let me have a quick look back. Here we go. No, I think that's it. Right, I'm going to wrap it up because Mr. WRB is standing behind me with his head in his hands, so I don't know if I've said something that's upsetting. You love my voice, Claire. Oh, that's lovely. He doesn't. He's kind of, yeah, he's fed up of me, aren't you? No. What's the matter?
No, just waiting.
He's waiting. He's waiting for me to finish so he can walk past. Right, Joe. Oh, I sound so young. I don't look young, Rachel. Somebody told me the other day that I looked about 4 or 5 years older than I was, and I was fucking devastated. Lovely to put a voice to the name. And get a picture in your head of how someone says, yeah, I do that. So there was this one time at work, and I was 16 years old, and I worked for a company that sold industrial consumables. And I used to deal with this guy, and he sounded like a right dude. He had like a Cockney accent, and he was lovely chap. I'd spoken to him loads over the phone. And one day I was standing at work downstairs at the trade counter, and I heard this voice behind me. He was like, all right, Sarah. And I was like, right, okay. Turned around, expecting to see this chap that I used to talk to, and I couldn't see anybody until I looked down. And he was about 4'3", something like that. And he was the loveliest guy ever, but you just get an image in your head of what somebody's going to be like. And yeah, he was brilliant. We went out drinking. It was such good fun. Hi, Senga, lovely to see you. Marie, Cam, can you give us a wave? Let's see. Can you give them a wave, Rob? There you go. He's giving you a wave.
You to give them a wave.
No, I think you're old. Me? No. Cam said, can he give us a wave? Oh, okay. There you go. Do you want to do a catwalk parade or something like that? You should have seen him earlier. Jesus, he went outside. I had to make him change his outfit. He was going over to do some chocolate. Oh my gosh, the best bit of this. He got paid this afternoon to be a chocolate taster. how that, seriously, I can't quite believe that he got paid to taste chocolate. And he came home with actual cash in his hand after sitting there this afternoon tasting chocolate. Anyway, he was going to ride his bike over to the place that he was doing the chocolate tasting, and he put this outfit on. It was absolutely appalling. He had padded cycling shorts on that made him look like he had a huge camel toe. And I had to make him change his outfit because I just couldn't let him go out looking like that. It was absolutely hilarious. Right, Sarah, has losing weight changed you apart from the obvious? Has it changed me? Do you know what? I don't know is the honest answer to that. I've always been a bit of a gobby cow. I've always been fairly confident, but I think at my absolute biggest, I retreated into my shell and I didn't like going out, and I retreated from friends and family and stuff like that. So I had to reconnect with quite a lot of people, and I chose who I reconnected with quite carefully. So there were some people I just didn't want back in my life for one reason or another. And I rang some of my friends that I hadn't spoken to and explained the situation, and they were all amazing. So yeah, Marie saw the camel toe on Snapchat, wasn't it? Oh, it was horrific, absolutely horrific. Yeah. So sorry, Sarah. So has losing weight changed me apart from the obvious? Yeah, I think I'm probably a little bit more comfortable now. I think I've probably got a little bit more of a don't give a shit attitude. I think going through what I went through before, so when I was working, and I worked right until I was like kind of just over 40 stone, and I was working myself into an early grave, so I took some time out and went and did a bit of consulting and contracting work, but I picked and choose what I wanted to do. But I did retreat into my shell for a bit. I kind of got a little bit nervous about going out of the house because of the things that people would say. Whereas now I'm not really that bothered because, do you know what? If people don't like me, they just don't have to fucking look at me, do they, really? So, I mean, I go swimming and all sorts of stuff like that. Swimming, rather. And all sorts of stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm really not bothered. Hi, Jackie. Lovely to see you on here. You're a fellow swearer. I like you. You wish it was me waving. Well, I do a little wave there, but I won't do the full on face. Hi, Sarah. Lovely to see you. Right, I really am going to bugger off now because I've been talking for ages. But I just wanted to say thank you for all of the support, and if any of you guys need any help, then you know how to get hold of me. Give me a shout through Facebook. I'm like you, Rachel. I talk like I write. Yeah, this is the thing. So the other day, somebody said to me, I think it was Mr. WRB actually. He was like, "Oh, she sounds just like she writes in her blog." And I was like, "Yeah, it is my fucking blog. Of course I'm going to sound like that." Claire, lovely. Right, I am going to go now. I keep saying that all the time. And if Mandy's still on here, she'll know that I do this all of the time. I really am going now. And I love you all to bits. Thank you very much. Catch up soon. Take care. Bye.